Welcome, welcome, welcome. So the first thing, my guest wasn't able to make it. She already went to sleep. She's on the East Coast. But what I wanted to talk about is advancing. Why is it you don't see us advancing? I'm paying attention to something that's going on in the business world, in the corporate world. I'm paying attention to what's going on. And the people who are not ADOS, they're hiring each other at a high rate. Shout out to Deity. I'm going to put the link in the chat room. But what's happening is uh, the people who are not black are hiring each other at a high rate. I had two Pakistani companies contact me because of my resume for some higher level positions. See, that's what black folks are not doing. Black folks are not trying to seek out the greatest parts of us. Shout out to Naima Buckner. How you doing? They're not, black folks, Naima, are not trying to seek out the best of us and put us in position. I've had a couple of Indian companies, people that just started up companies from their apartment. Seriously, apartment out of New Jersey. One company I worked for, they went and got a business license, and then they just got online. And every time a job came up, they did the hustle work, sought out people in that area, and was just giving them jobs and taking a cut from the company as a headhunter seeker. It's the most impressive thing I've seen from another group of individuals who are not black. What we have, unfortunately, we have a lot of people not aware of what's going on as far as advancement. Reason why a lot of us are not advancing, we don't have situations where people can just walk into a great position. And then even when it comes to dating and love, because people don't have great people to choose from, it's harder to get people to bond and couple with. It's extremely hard to get people to bond and couple with. This is a problem that we're having. We're not advancing like we should. We're not making the moves like we should. And again, even in dating, you got people who just have a hard time connecting with folks. And then a lot of times, man, like I was on a popular TV show today. Well, not TV show, but a popular YouTube channel today. She has about 300 subscribers, and we don't have enough of us coming forth showing the best of us. And that's the point I was making to Miss Lynn on her show today. We as black folks, we got to start paying attention to the fact that the best of us are not going forward. And then we who are doing well, we have to reach back and get the people who are the second best of us. And those people have to reach back and get the third best of us. I see how the Indians and Pakistanis have come in and they've become the new black people. They are working together like the black folks of 1970. And anybody can come in. I put the link in the chat room. Anybody can come in. And that's what I think a lot of people are missing and reason why we're not advancing. And then who do the children have to look to right now other than their own parent? The parent sometimes doesn't have connections to other people. The parent sometimes doesn't have the ability to say, hey, I met somebody on the golf course, or I met somebody at my business. They got a McDonald's that they own. You know what I'm saying? Uh, oh, your comments were blocked. Come on in, Dr. D. Durrell. Come on in, sir. Um, let's use D. Durrell for example. D. Durrell has said many times that he has went out of his way to pick out the best and brightest to work for him. That's what we got to do. But also, once we're picked, we got to realize the opportunity. We got to stop looking at things as it's just a job. We got to look at things like, oh, by the way, uh, I respect this person put me on. I respect uh, being able to be in this space and make these moves. That's how we got to start looking at these things because unfortunately, other people are getting a lot of leadway over us, and mostly it's because we're not focused on the best and brightest people. We're not focused on those folks who can skip light years ahead. We're trying to muddy the waters, so to speak, and maintain with the regular folks. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but it takes too much time. It takes away too much time, and people are not benefiting. So I'm seeing that these other cultures are really killing the game. And I think it's good for you and I to speak on it, and we're inviting other people too. But Dr. D. Durrell, how do you see other cultures taking over or other cultures doing what black people used to do in the 70s? What do you see in the Texas area?
Well, can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, a little bit of echo, but yeah, I can hear you.
Hold on one second. Okay, is it how do you can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Rock on, sir.
Okay. Well, what I'm seeing when you look at Houston, I'm seeing the same thing in Dallas and throughout the state of Texas because I pretty much do business in at least 9 different counties, 8 or 9 different counties. I'm, and I network. I go to Austin. I've been in San Antonio and pretty much throughout the whole central to east side of southeast of Texas. So um, the number one thing that I'm seeing, and this is something that you have talked about a lot, is the fact that when particularly I see this mostly in the Asian community, in the Indian community, they are their kids, their cousins, the younger generations, they are finding ways to bring them into spaces to make money a lot quicker than to meet any other population. As and in many instances, a matter of fact, I went to this. I don't know if you drink those little what do they call them? The little bubble drinks or something. Those boba
No,
drinks.
no, I don't. No, I
Okay,
don't, but
but
I know
yeah,
selling
but
like
those
hotcakes.
things, yeah, those things are popping up. Those things are all over the place, all over Houston.
That's their culture.
Exactly, that's their culture, and you know what they're doing? There are many of their kids between the ages of 18 and 21 that they're either handing over that business to them or they're giving them the capital to operate their own business while they're in college.
Let me tell you, sir. Wow, they're in college. Wow, sir. Look, I saw a liquor store bought in the hood when the hood was at its most violent. As it started to gentrify, I saw them create the side property been sitting there for years. They took that side property and opened up a weed smoke shop without the weed, but just a smoke shop. And their little children, like 12 years old, 15, are running that shop.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But we're busy talking about dating. We're busy talking about light skin, dark skin. you know, the you and I understand as people who fight supremacy daily. See, I think that's what's really unique about you and I, as opposed to a lot of other people and people like you and I. We're out in the battlefield competing against dragons
Exactly. And winning.
and winning.
That's what people have to understand. We're winning. And the problem um is black people, because we have psychologically been so beaten as a community, we a lot of black people feel like a culture of failure is inevitable for us as a people. It's inevitable. Meaning, what's the use of trying? And even if we see a brother coming up doing better, he think he better than us. We need to bring him down to be with us because he think that he's too he's too uppity, or he's too this or that. And as a community, we don't respect success and the level of commitment that one, particularly that look like us, has to go through and jump over different hoops and fighting white supremacy in order to do that. We don't respect that. What we would rather do as a community is look at the Pookie and Ray Ray who's selling CDs and made it come up and tell our kids that's the American way, or that's the way to come up, instead of a brother who actually did things the right way, a brother who kept his nose clean, a brother that had to struggle to get to the success he had, doing it the hard way, the slow way, but from a long-term perspective, a better way, and producing a legacy that is overlooked. That's considered boring. That's considered lame. And of all the issues that I have to deal with when I'm counseling kids between the ages of 13 and 17, that's the issue I have to deal with more than anything. Any black man that comes across that looks like them, that carries himself in a professional manner, that doesn't fulfill the stereotypes and fall into the traps that white supremacy wants us to follow into, a lot of these kids will look at you as being foreign to them. And you have to damn near come out of yourself, or just basically talk to them on their level before they begin to respect who you are and what you've done.
You know what?
Because when they see that, they see a sellout. They think you're selling out.
You know what? You're absolutely right. Because I'm sitting up here thinking, I'm going to get back into music, and I've been, last year taking my voice lessons and all that type of stuff. And what's so weird is I'm from the block, and I made the transition. I could still go out here and do what I do. You feel me? Even though the young cats don't really know me like that. The point being is that I understand the mentality of the young cat. He just wants answers. But unfortunately, to your point, he's getting flooded with answers that are not really answers from dudes who just want to talk.
Exactly.
And it's the most dangerous thing to run into cats. Like I've been trying to make these connections, man. And if I get a chance to I'm not going to tell you what it is, man. But if I get a chance to get on this show, I'm going to send you something, and we're going to try to work it out to whether you can get a day out or help you with the plane fare or whatever, to see if we can appear together. But nevertheless, my point being, it's I was on a popular vlog show today. She has about 300. I was on.
I saw it. I was there.
Okay. Oh, you saw Lynn's show?
Yeah, that's why I pointed out when I tried to make comments to say hello, because I was shocked. I've been watching her show on and off about the last.
I polyed hard for that.
Yeah.
I polyed hard for that. As she was doing her stuff, I was hitting her hard. I turn on my StreamYard out now. I'll give it to you. I'll let you ride. You know what I'm saying? I polyed hard while she was on for that. And that's why I'm glad I was the first person to come up. I'm glad I was the first person to come up because you need that good black male experience so that women understand that the guys they're interacting with ain't like the guys you and I are. Go ahead, D. Durrell.
Yeah, but you know what? I've grown to have a lot of respect for her because she's came out of her comfort zone on some a variety of different topics in regards to racist things. I know she does more gossip, but I noticed that she came out of her comfort zone being more conscientious of different racist things that have came about and made some points of view. This is things that she typically don't do, but I noticed she's evolving, particularly in the last 3 months. She has talked about and made opinions that typically she wouldn't do, for the
True.
most part. And so when I saw you on the screen, I'm like, what? I said, wait a minute, she really expanding her show because I've never known her to even do a live stream and have guests, period.
You know what? All of them are like that because they're scared of the childish, boyish dude coming up and being the face. You know what I'm saying? We got a problem with the childish, boyish dudes pretending to be men. And they don't understand how to drive past a problem, to drive past a woman. They feel like they gotta stop. Well, I ain't want you anyway. They feel they gotta do that. And it's like, so they gotta be able to have people that can hold a conversation. So I really polyed hard in that moment to try to make that happen. And if necessary, I would have bankrolled that opportunity because I see the need for her and her fan base to be exposed to people, to guys who are not like that. You feel me? What are your thoughts, sir?
I wholeheartedly agree. You represented yourself well in how you spoke and to her and asking questions and the way you kind of laid out, the wolf game and so to speak, and kind of put that into it, in a way that would be in which that particular sector would be receptive towards.
Unwavering.
Huh?
Unwavering.
Yeah, exactly. And to me, the show went really. Man, I'll be honest with you, I was so shocked to see it because that was something I never seen her done before that I wasn't expecting. And then you usually don't do
face stuff.
Live, a live stream where you're showing yourself live. So that was another thing that I was like, so, but yeah, I was very impressed.
What I did for the culture. I did it for the culture.
Yeah,
I did it for the culture.
And I think, to be honest with you, man, I think that it exposed you to a lot to that particular.
Everything I do is strategic, brother.
And they're gonna start, hey, let's check out Mr. Research and see what's going on with him, what he has to say, and you'll be surprised, the people that may stumble upon you and say, hey, you was on her show. The people who watch the show, they may want to come check out your show, and they'll be exposed to a lot of different things. They're going to be exposed to established black men that they're not used to seeing on YouTube. And that to me, I think would be the best, the greatest benefit.
And that's the whole thing. It's unfortunate. People ask me when I first went this route of ask a classy black man, and it's because I wanted to promote what classy is. Classy is not good or evil. Classy is just discipline in the moment.
Yeah.
That's all classy is. Because you'll get people say, oh, what you just said isn't classy. That isn't the definition of classy. Classy is just the ability to control yourself in the moment and not let what you really think be exposed or used against you. What are your thoughts?
I wholeheartedly agree. It's the state of you understanding the situation that you're in and responding in a way in which you're representing yourself in a positive way, in a disciplined way, without being unraveled and deemed as being, a person that don't know how to condone themselves in certain circles.
Right.
I agree with that. And so there's so much undiscipline behavior going on in this sector in Black YouTube. People whatever they want that's on their mind without thinking about the consequences. People have lacked any type of ability to discipline themselves. No, I mean, I know for me, I train people to deal in conflict situations all the time. And one of the things I talk about is just because someone responds, just because someone says something to you or does something to you in a negative manner doesn't mean that you have to respond back the same way. And a lot of people feel, and particularly, and like in the hood, a lot, this whole thing about not letting somebody treat you a certain way. You have a certain rep to uphold and so forth, or you don't want to come across as being weak, but at the same time, you should want to come across as being smart. And I just think that is a way of doing that.
That's amazing to me, because that's been the hardest issue. Is women are afraid of smart dudes. Dudes are intimidated by smart dudes. And it's like the first pushback I got 6 years ago was, Mr. Research, you talking down to us. Huh?
Yeah, well, I get that too. So I know that. I get that a lot. So I mean, matter of fact, I've had people that criticize me for showing my degrees and licenses
Like,
on
that's
live.
normal. You should want you should want that.
I got criticized for showing my receipts. So
I'm competing against a guy right now who's really only been in power for 4 years. And before that, he was a regular, he spent 2 years as a regular front desk worker. Right now, he is a senior analyst of operations.
wow.
And it's a Filipino environment.
Oh wow.
And they all are at peace.
Yeah.
And and it's like, you know, it's like, wow. And he's just thriving and thriving and thriving. And it's a good mix for me, because I said to myself, boy, this guy is so good at what he does. Now, mind you, he's in a specialty, so that helps him. But I'm like, the opportunity. If Black folks could give other Black folks the opportunity and work together in peace, imagine the stuff they can get accomplished.
Man, I've been trying to network with other Black people to help them understand that. But the problem to me is not so much of the Black owner that don't want to hire the Black worker or the Black professional.
It's the reverse.
It's the Black professional that feels that they are entitled to unprofessional behaviors or certain ways of conducting business because it's a Black owner.
Absolutely.
And I've had to deal with that. I can't even count how many Black people. Well, I hate to say Black women, because I've hired a lot of Black women.
Look, I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna stop you. Like I said, I'm gonna stop you. Like I said, if I lived in Texas, I would come be the PM. You can go do your art. You'd never have to see it. Because see, the problem is, like you said, and this is also the lack of Black male managers that we need.
Yeah. Yes.
You don't have enough dudes that could come in. Hey, you guys. Hey, I'm smiling, Mr. Latreille. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Latreille? Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be Dr. Durrell's PM. Respectfully, some of y'all been here way longer than me. I'm brand new. But my first thing I want to make clear, okay, I'm going to wrestle with Dr. Durrell to make sure people who excel in professionalism get first choice and top dollar. But what I'm going to also do is evaluate weekly people who are not representing their position. You may not like that. You've been here for a while. I hear you. But in order to get that top dollar, I have to put in this system. Great meeting all of you guys. What are your thoughts on that? And then I'm gonna go to Top Manor tomorrow. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this, man, and this was to me one of the most disappointing things that ever happened to me in my career. And I've been working in mental health for 15 years. I've been owning my own business for 11 years. No, not 11, but 12 years now. One of the most disappointing things that ever happened was me trying to pull up a black man. And it's rare to find other black men working in our field. And I basically gave this brother every opportunity to thrive. He was supposed to get the very position that you just articulated in regards to how I wanted somebody to function so that I can do all the other things that makes the money and create capital and opportunities in the business. And the brother, this is one of our own brothers. The brother, unfortunately, tried to start his own situation.
Absolutely, like a coward.
Yes, underneath me,
like a coward.
The brother also attempted to he developed relationships with other people that I had
what you already established
with me I already established, and the brother actually attempted to use my own information company to build his own business. And it was, to me, it was one of the most disheartening things I had to deal with, because I had actually considered this brother like a friend. And this is a brother that when he came to me, there's a brother that was looking for an opportunity. He obtained his master's. I actually trained him for free for a year and a half. I charged actually $75 to $100 an hour for consultations to or more, depending on who you are, to train you to be a therapist. Weekly, we do a group session with other therapists. I also give you my own individual time, and that's actually cheap, because I can command 150 to $200 if I wanted to.
40 seconds. But 40 seconds.
Huh?
40 seconds. 40 seconds.
Okay, but to make a long story short, I invested in this brother, gave him American within the company, so that he can be that very position and do the things that you're talking about. And the brother tried to undercut me to do his own thing, and then his situation went to pieces within 6 months.
See, people say, well, why don't brothers work together? Because I need for brothers to already be at a level before we connect. You don't appreciate nothing when I try to bring you up. You appreciate it when I put the hammer on you. Let's hear it from the hammer, a brother that I dubbed MOT on a Mr. O'Shea show long ago. He now has his own fame. Proud of the brother doing his great things, teaching cats how to stop crying so much. Man of Tomorrow, what are your thoughts, sir?
What's going on, Mr. Research G. Durrell?
We got three businessmen at once.
Yeah. I just had to, unfortunately, down here in Florida, had to lock another dude up for taking my truck, and thought that gave him a great opportunity. He thought that he was just going to make it his, take off with it and do what he wanted to.
I know the feeling.
Happens all the time. But it's just that what people don't understand is they look at business people like we're suckers for helping them. Like they come to us for the help that they need, and then the help they file down into a nice sharp point, and they stab us in the back with it.
Absolutely.
And somehow they want business people, like there's a lot of people who have nothing at risk, but they want us to take all the risk. on their behalf for the things that they want. And it's like they don't understand that at some point you have to give them the white environment so that way they can act right.
And you know what? You're absolutely right. And also, I've been looking at how to sell to the Negro for the past 4 years, and I've been really breaking it down for me in my mind. Really, it's an actual thing, D. Darrell. And
yeah, I know. I saw the video. That's why I laughed.
okay, and so I've been breaking it down for myself in its most simplest form, and I've come to the realization, in order to help Black men be better, you have to have the approach of Odin. Everybody suffers under me. I don't care if you guys are gods or not. Shut up when I tell you to shut up. And look, everybody thrived, including Thor. And when Thor took the throne, he realized in the comic book, this is why my dad was such an asshole. Because look at these whiny gods. Go ahead, Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah. It's just at the end of the day, man, like we're not at a level to where we have the developed amount of trust that's passed down for Black men to be able to act right. I mean, most of them are used to very hard environments in order for them to be able to minimally thrive. You know, the harder you are on them, the less pushback that you get. You know, you can't really have too easy of an environment. It's not respected. You could do it to other races of men. They appreciate that type of stuff.
They love it. They love it.
Yeah. Like, you know, I could hire somebody who's older, Latin guy in his 50s. There's nothing this dude wouldn't do to keep that truck on the road. No complaints.
And look, here's the funny thing. He will not only keep a truck on the road, he'll go tell his family, yes, man, the Negro, Man of Tomorrow gave me a chance, man. You know, I tell my niños all about Man of Tomorrow, and not all Black people are bad and loyal. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, but I would give like right now I only have like one spot for Black guy within the whole place because I ain't got time for that right now, especially during like the pandemic shit. I got one Negro spot, Negro-able spot, and it's like you hire somebody and they don't last that long because they get the money, they get it 3 weeks in a row, and then things are good now. I want to slack off now. And it be's like, hey, man, I got sick. I'm like, not a problem. You only get $200 this week. They'll be like, whoa, what? Why? I'm like, because you're sick, dude. And I don't want everybody else to get sick, right? So it's like, oh, I think I can work if it was going to be that way. So it's like, that's the shit I'm talking about, man. They want the stuff kind of their way. And it's like, dude, it's going to be like this. It's either you're going to get the full pay, half pay, or a quarter pay. And
let me ask you a question of you and Dr. D. Darrell. I'm going to start with you, Man of Tomorrow. For the Black guys who want to be able to defeat white supremacy like the three of us do, we have let's talk about it from the conversation level first. How are you conversing with non-Black people as it relates to expectations? Go ahead, sir.
Oh man, it's like for me, I lay down the expectations and they're more like, is that it? Yeah, and it's like, this is what you do. You do this, this, and this, and the paycheck is going to be there on time. Would you like direct deposit or cash app?
And then the self-discipline is already in check for them.
Correct. For a Black guy, it is all right, man. But man, I gotta go home for this and this, and I'm like, dude, you're an over the road truck That's right. If you
Mm.
want to not get paid any money, you can get a local job and work your ass off for half of this money.
Mm.
But they won't. They
Let's
want to
actually
get a couple of checks, and then they want to do what they want to do. But see, they never do it when they go to a white institution, but they always have that pushback at a black institution. The moment
Okay.
they get 2 or 3 paychecks, it's crazy.
All right, let's ask D. Darrell. D. Darrell, when you speak to non-ADOS people, how do you communicate expectations?
I'm straightforward and direct. And I just kind of like, just, hey, this is what it is. Simple. I mean, kind of similar to what MOT is saying. I just go straight to the point. This is how you're going to play in my playground. This is my expectations. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm a fair person. I expect you to do your job. I basically going to treat you like an adult. If I have to treat you like a kid, you out. I mean, it's just. But the thing about it, they understand it and they're receptive, and it's no issue.
Well, because they're cultured to understand.
Yeah, and
mom or dad or uncle has been drilling that in their head for quite a while. Go ahead, D.
But you know what I get the most, particularly from those in the Indian and the because I've had a couple of Indian, Pakistani, and Asian. They always ask me about my background
because they're shocked.
Yes, they ask me all the time. Like they'll say, "You didn't grow up around," they'll say something like one guy alluded to, and I almost got offended by it, but I didn't. He told me, "You didn't grow up in an urban community."
You know what? Here's the thing I would say to both of y'all, and I understand it's time consuming, but when that happens, that's your teaching moment. Because unfortunately, and if you take the time to teach that Pakistani or that Indian, he's going to give other black folks a chance, because what's happening is he's going off this TV version of what he believes a black person from the urban is supposed to be and think.
Yeah,
but go ahead, D, finish that out, and I got another question for you at Matt.
Yeah. So when I almost took offense to it, but I explained to him, of my background, and I explained to him of. There are other people that also do the same thing that look like me. It's just that they're not promoted. You just don't see it, but they do exist, and so to speak. But I just told them, hey, look, regardless of what pre-notions that you may have had, this is what you're going to expect here, being here with me, and this is how I operate. And they're like, hey, no questions asked. They just do their thing, don't have any problems. And things like that. The only time I had an issue with something like this was with a Jewish guy from New Jersey that moved to Dallas.
30 seconds.
The Jewish holidays, we had some issues about that, but we worked it out. But he's the only person I had some issues with, a non-ADOS that I had issues with about culture. But that's pretty much
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me answer the question before I ask the next question. We'll start with Amanda tomorrow again. But here's my answer. I do less than what you guys do. I have 3 email apps on my phone. All my conversations to people are with a big smile and a follow-up email. You could tell me something that you two gentlemen just told me right now. While you're talking, I will walk away from you, and within 5 minutes, I will tap up an email on my phone and send it to you and CC myself. That is time stamped and everything, because what people in my industry tend to do is forget that they said stuff.
Oh, wow.
And I will sit up here and pull out emails with dates and times. Oh, no, I sent you an email. And, oh, you sure did. Yeah. Because I don't play that. And see, that's another thing. Me being a big black man, when people try to play me for that type of stuff too. Okay. And like I said, I've developed over the years. I have one app, my Outlook app, just for the people I deal with. I have the app for Yahoo for all HR stuff, and then I have Gmail for my personals. And that's how I do it. I don't care what the conversation is, if it has anything to do with business related. And see, the three of us are the type of men that women should want to try to bond with, because we understand how to kill dragons. We understand how to deal with boardrooms. You don't have to train us for that. But when you seek out Tank Top Tony, that's your problem. Don't blame all black men. Let's go into the second question. Man of Tomorrow, do you find that women appreciate, well, not appreciate, do you find that women are willing to financially bankroll a black man's growth like you faster than a black man?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, they finance to have a controlling stake. They don't finance to actually keep you in leadership. That's
Good
kind
point.
of the way that works.
Good point. Please elaborate.
Because you have to understand that they've been cultured to want to be in charge and to oversee over what's happening, because they don't have
Absolutely.
a level of trust with black leadership, especially black male leadership. Now, this has nothing to do with what the black man has done. It has everything to do with her level of trust with black leadership overall.
Okay, so everybody peep out what he's saying. So you're saying they do bankroll more, but it's not with the intention of allowing the male leadership to continue to thrive.
Correct.
Okay, go ahead deeper before we bring D Darrell in.
So it's like they improve to undermine. So it's kind of like,
oh golly, oh that's a killer statement. Go ahead.
So it's like they want to help you, but they want to help you so that way they can eventually get the result of what's happening. It's kind of like a crop. You know, they do want to water the crop, but only if they're going to be getting the benefits of what's being taken out of the ground. They have no intention of sharing that type of power. They have the intention of being the sole beneficiary of that type of power. I mean, that's just the way it is. You know, that's the way the culture works. And you just have to pick people who don't have that type of culture and background. But know that you are getting in those situations. This is why a lot of dudes are compromised. They don't have their stuff together, and they end up getting into these type of compromising positions all the time because they don't have their stuff together enough to where they can separate and have their own thing. So they are tied into these type of circles.
All right, when I come back to you, I'm gonna give you a free 3 minutes, just whatever you wish to say. But let's go to D Darrell with this question. D Darrell, same question. Do you see women bankrolling more than black men? Maybe you got a different experience in your lane.
I actually had a different experience. I find that black men who are well established are more willing, from my experience. And one of the reasons why, well, I'm gonna say, because I work in mental health and it's very highly related to healthcare, particularly in Houston. I've developed a pretty good network with non-ADOS black men from Nigeria, Ghana, and so forth. So I've dealt a lot with African communities that are way more likely to invest in new ventures, and so to speak. So I've dealt with black men. To me, my experience that I've dealt with black men who seem to be more willing. I had one black female. Of all the type of females I've dealt with, if you're going to do business with black females, I prefer, from my experience, I would deal with black women over the age of 50, 55 years old. I would not.
Yes.
I would not. And I'm going to repeat. I would not do business with black women under 50 years old in regards to ventures. They're too temperamental. You don't know what when they give you that money, they have unrealistic expectations, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. But that's my experience.
Wow. Now I'll tell you my experience, gentlemen.
I'm just being honest.
No. I'll tell you my experience, gentlemen. Is similar to both of you. Is that you have a lot of ladies who want to be in a space where they can disrupt it. Very true. And proof of that, to all the women out there listening, proof of that is when you have people talking, but they have not worked out their proposal. You have people talking, but they have not worked out the long view of their suggestion. And when you ask them, they come down to, well, let's just try it. No. Business 101. We don't do that. We research, and then we look at the least damaging option to getting that done. Second thing is what Mr. D. Durrell said. Sometimes you get women who their sabotage level is amazing to me. It's like, didn't you realize that was going to happen? Well, no, I don't understand why. You don't understand because you're thinking short term. You're thinking off the cuff.
That's it.
You want this to happen, but you don't know why it should happen. Shit, I want to set this shit on fire. But but that's going to affect something that I need. And it's the most hurtful thing to talk with people like that. When I talk to Kels and I talk to Naima Buckner, just shouting out to them, it is a level of maturity that they have. Now, I don't know them personally, but when I give them a topic or a concept, they first listen to it all. And Kels particularly will ask questions for clarity on what you just said.
Yeah.
Before they even speak. That type of woman mindset is hands down better than a lot of other mindsets. When you got these women who just pop off, I just don't get it. Man of Tomorrow, 3 minutes. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't need 3 minutes, but with those type of things, you have to understand it's kind of like how you could quickly come up with a resolution and how they told you to show your work in like math class in like third grade. You may think that you have the right answer, but you haven't went through the proper order of operation to receive the result. So once you know the answer is incorrect and you have them go through the proper operations that it takes to get a result, they have to see that as a process before they open their mouth. And if they can't do that, then it's just a really bad idea to work with somebody who had that type of framework going on in the background. Because that type of failure is something that is not going to be limited to the business environment. It's something that's going to be all over the place with every single thing that you try to plan and do, whatever you do around this person.
Yeah, absolutely. I look at a lot of not just women, but feminine type of boys too. They're willing to damage stuff. They're willing to destroy a process and then wonder why it happened. Oh, just because I did so and so, that don't mean they should do that. Why not? They're protecting their situation. Yep. And you just jeopardized it. I'll never forget, before we go to D. Durrell, I'll never forget, there was something in place. I forgot what it was. And nobody was tripping. It was just wide open, right? Wide open. One person comes through, brings way too much attention to the loophole. And now all of a sudden we got to close it. And then that person end up quitting or getting fired and I'm like, now we gotta suffer from what this idiot has come in and drawn attention to. Why? And that's the one thing with millennials that they don't understand. they bring way too much attention to the loopholes. Oh, I'm sorry, we lost Manna tomorrow. Here's my other thing before we go to you, D. Darrell. Even people in the tech industry, you're creating things just to show you're smart. It ain't even helpful. You and I, you know, and you know, when we go back to Manna tomorrow, he can speak to this too. But D. Darrell, we coming to you now. But even in the tech industry, you got people creating stuff. It ain't even helpful. Other than replacing pen and paper and making files easier to access and view, I can't even say that tech has done anything for the medical industry at all. I've even talked to IT people. They say, no. I mean, we can process stuff quicker. That's about it. D. Darrell, what are your thoughts? 2 minutes, man.
The only major thing that I think that the tech industry has done to benefit the healthcare field is the electronic health record, which to me,
that's it.
And if you're particularly in mental health, digital platforms that are HIPAA compliant. That's pretty much it.
What do you mean by that?
Digital platforms are basically platforms such as Skype, such as Zoom, and
communication platform.
But however, and where you can visually see other people and provide therapeutic services. However,
hold on. A Black woman created the ability to speak online.
Oh, really?
She just lost the patents.
How did she lose the patents?
I have no idea. I'm still trying to investigate that. But it's a Black woman that created voice streaming, the ability to speak online.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
But did you know that, LT?
No.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'll get her name as D. Darrell is talking. Go ahead.
Yeah, but so that there are certain board approved or license approved digital platforms in which you can provide therapeutic services instead of a person seeing a client face to face. This is something that psychiatrists have been, something that counselors have done, or other medical professionals en route to prescribing medications and things of that sort. So it was heavily regulated until now. Because of this pandemic, they have loosened a lot of the rules and regulations on that. A lot of insurance companies don't like paying for telemedicine outside of psychiatrists or medical doctors providing it, but now they pretty much allowed anybody to do things because of the risk of going face to face in public to do things. But there are tons of different approved digital platforms. I use a platform called DoxyMe. There's another one called Web Counsel, BetterWorks. There's tons of other things that are used. Even there's one called Webinar. There's a variety of different ones, but as a licensed person, it behooves you to use one that you know is HIPAA compliant, that's within the government regulations, instead of using, because at one time I know a guy got in trouble for using FaceTime. You know, you can't use things like that, or that are also used for more social means instead of just strictly on a professional level.
Well, I will say to you or suggest to you that's true and not true. It really depends on the state, but I will say
on the boards. Every board has their own different have their different platforms that they say you can and cannot use. Yeah.
Because we use Zoom, but we also used we used something else recently. We used Duo.
Okay.
But there's no such thing as a HIPAA compliant one. The thing is, you cannot speak about a patient. Well, take that back. I think the reason they mention HIPAA compliant because some of these are hosted on the net, and then some of these are hosted on a private server and then sent out over the net. So maybe possibly, and I only know that because of my training in hospital policies,
okay,
health policy. So if they can say that Zoom captures the conversation, then relays it over the net, then they can get away with that claim. But by law, none of that really matters. The minute I say man of tomorrow, I violated HIPAA. Because technically I can't even have patient conversations over the net. Because that if it has the ability to be captured, but anything over the net has the ability to be captured.
True. Yeah, but they at this point they have loosened the regulations on all of those. I've gotten I say 90% of the emails that I've received from third parties or insurance companies or even Medicare, Medicaid, and private insurance, they're all alluding to using digital platforms or your ability to use them and their ability to honor or not putting any maximum amount of times in which you can utilize those per authorization for a particular client. So they've kind of, I know it's state to state, but I know within the state of Texas, they pretty much let those regulations go to the wayside.
Let's go to man of tomorrow. What are your thoughts, sir?
I mean, I don't have the medical background to talk about those type of things, man. So I have to defer to y'all.
Well. Let me ask you this: just about computers in general. What have you seen as because you're kind of reverse of how I feel. I feel computers are crap, but how do you feel about advancements in the tech industry? What are your thoughts for Black folks specifically, or humans in general?
I mean, I don't think these processes and programs have. I mean, it's created to have less of a workforce, but they still have the same human-based problems that are kind of wrapped up in processes that a human can easily solve. It's kind of like how people are like, oh, MOT, they're going to be machine learning. I'm like, dude, they're not going to be having an automated truck driving down the same highway that they can't pay. Like, what are you talking about?
Me and you talk about that all the time. It's the funniest thing I've ever heard, man. It's like, oh man, look.
I mean, nobody
in insurance is going to insure that. But go ahead.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, that's almost like an engine that attracts its own wrenches magnetically to take things apart from it. I'm like, and then once you explain that to a person, like, why would someone create something like that? And they kind of get it and they don't get it. I'm like, dude, listen, you can't get cell phone reception clearly in every point of your city across all carriers, but you're going to have an 80,000-pound piece of equipment that accounts for all the intricacies that a human being accounts for, riding down the street automatically on a street that they can't even pay. So it's like, at the end of the day, what exactly are they worried about? It's almost like they're talking themselves out of a guaranteed career field on the behest of things would automatically work, so that way they don't have to try to do anything better. So it's like, so the problem isn't the automation. The problem is them trying, period.
Yeah, because I would think that a lot of that gets solved. We're going to go back to D. Durrell, but I think a lot of that gets solved if you just either unionize trucking, which would create a quality-based thing once again, or you create some type of scenario through Congress where the artists, because I look at you and D. Durrell as artists in what you do. That's how I look at you guys in a business way of thinking. And in order for an artist to deliver that truck on time, without incident, without accidents, I need to be able to compensate them in such a way where they continue to give me that excellent on-time service. Same thing with D. Durrell. I need to look at that as an art form. And I think what we've gotten away from, and this is what unions used to do really well until people got jealous of who they can fire and who they can't. we had a scenario where excellence was rewarded with minimal incidents. But now that we don't have unions in a lot of areas, people are doing stuff willy-nilly. And I think what's happening is the accidents, the HIPAA violations, all this stuff is starting to stack up higher than the cost of a union. D. Durrell, what are your thoughts on anything?
I agree with that, man. This stuff is coming up, man, because the flow of information. The thing about it, people understand that, yeah, we utilize a variety of different instruments to do things, but when you utilize those things, it also requires certain security that you have to be more consistent in. I mean, that's a big thing, particularly within hospitals, things that I do. You just have to be very mindful of the ethics behind that, of those type of things. I mean, that to me, that's one of the biggest ways people, as far as companies get sued, is behind information and people having access to information and getting into the hands of people that didn't consent or you didn't give consent to give that information to. So I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me also follow up with this one other thing, D. Durrell, before I go back up to man tomorrow. I don't understand how.
I got roll out, man.
Huh?
I got roll out, man.
Okay. Hey, make sure you answer that question about that doc situation. Holler back at me, all right?
All right, cool. All right.
Let me ask you this other thing, D. Durrell, man. How is it that black men? I'm gonna dig into this black man thing while I got you real quick because I want to learn. How is it that black men expect me to help if they have not done the work first?
I
know you love my questions, huh? They
Okay. How do they want you to look if they have not done the work first?
Yeah, because
let me say this, and I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna say this in a manner to help you understand the mindset of the person that's asking for help, because that's what you gotta really look at.
Okay.
And so you have to understand. In many of the avenues that they probably encountered prior to coming to you for help, do you think that in many of those instances they were required to do something before they asked for help?
Say that again.
In many of the situations and things that they were involved in life.
Oh, no.
No. Do you think that they had a certain, let's say, prerequisites?
No.
That they had to, exactly. So that answers the question. So if they never had those things prior to asking for help, they're going to come with you with the same mindset that I can come with nothing accomplished and expect you to give me a shortcut or some superficial way of doing something to obtain their goals. And success just doesn't work like that.
Sad.
I mean, but that's just the truth. You have to understand. I mean, some I know sometimes things may appear a certain way, but you sometimes you have to look at the development of why that person did that. And sometimes it's not their fault. Sometimes it is. Some people are just plain, like we described people earlier, just doing all kinds of things that they shouldn't do, and they expect you to, whatever. Particularly when we talked about black men, but for many cases, they had no prerequisite to, okay, I need to have X amount of this, learn this amount of skills, take this certification, do this and that. Oh, we just want to come and say, Mr. Research, I want a job in the healthcare field. Can you help me? It's just not that easy. I mean, that there's things, and there are people, and to be honest with you, and I could see you in that situation trying to explain the avenues that this person is going to take. And then when you say, oh, you have to take this certification, this 6-month certification, or you have to take this computer class, or, oh, you have to do this and read this book, they start looking at you side eye like, oh, Mr. Research, you you trying to talk down on me like I don't know this and I don't know that. Well, really, you don't. Because if you knew, you were asking me this question.
That's just what, like one of my Wolf students. Hey, Mr. Research, I want to learn medical finance. Okay, start with this book. 30 days later, hey, you finished that book yet? Or you got halfway through? You ready to discuss it? No, I got to this section.
Yeah, exactly.
Bruh, you got to push yourself, bruh. I got a lot of information to give you. And if you can't, I was just amazed at how blah, 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 because I'm not trying to diss the brother, but blah, blah, blah. No, bro, stop being amazed. You gotta learn so we can get you to the next the next part of the game. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem, man. It's like, fellas, I can't hold that hand.
Yeah. But the thing about it is, when you, like, say for instance with my son, I tell my son, like when I taught him how to change a tire, he's 14 years old. Okay. I'm only showing you one time. Okay. I'm not going to keep repeating and holding your hand through the whole process.
No.
Just like my dad did with me. He showed me one time and this and that. It's not going to be me repeating steps over and over. Oh, you did it too tight. Let me do it. You did it. You didn't do it tight enough. Let me do it. No. I'm going to show you. You need to pay attention. You need to learn and do it. And then you do it on your own.
That's the problem with growing up with a man. My father was an asshole. But guess what? Even as an asshole, you learn shit. You know?
Yeah. Exactly. Man, the stuff that I had to do, because I grew up in a rural area in Louisiana. Right now,
you want to Peaches. Go ahead.
Man, these guys, like, I did stuff, man, that was like I know how to grow my own foods.
There you go.
Okay. My dad created work for me to do because he didn't like the fact that he didn't like seeing me sitting watching TV. He hated when he would see me doing nothing. He would create work for me. That's one of the reasons why I'm white collar as it is, because I don't like working with my hands, because
me too.
Same
scenario, but go ahead.
Yeah, but when I was a kid, I still have those skills. I don't like using the skills, but I had to do a lot of things using my hands. He had his own garden. We had a great deal of land. I'm driving a tractor, planting corn, and all this other different stuff that I had to do. Stuff that I didn't have to do. He created it so I could do it. He wanted me to do it. And I'm talking in the middle of Louisiana. It's in the middle of July. It's 98 degrees outside. 2:00 in the afternoon. I'm doing this and doing that type of stuff.
Same type of thing. I had to cut grass to his specification.
Yes. I had to cut grass. Cut hedges. All of this stuff was created so that I understood the value of work. And at the end of the day, you know what he would give me to make it really look at him side eye, but I respected it. I would do all that work. You'd give me like $5.
Yeah, man, look, same thing. This dude, until I got to the point where I'm like, Dad, I gotta go play, because I will sit out here. See, he used to really get me. I Saturday morning, no school. I'm sleeping in. So that means I'm waking up 11, 12 o'clock, maybe even 1. You try to trick me with the whole money thing. Out there, but I'm out there 3-4 hours and I don't even realize it.
Yeah.
And now it's starting to get dusk. A lot of people don't even remember that word, dusk.
Yes.
Now it's starting to get dusk. And I'm finna try to get some playtime in. Here go Mom. Hey, it's getting late. Come inside. Oh, man.
Like, come on, you gotta go in.
Oh, man. Come on, man. And so it got to the point where I was like, man, I can't do it, man, because you killing my whole day.
You're socialist. But you know what ended up happening? When I got older in high school and people knew that I cut grass, they see me cutting all that grass, I made that into my own business. And my dad,
Oh wow, there you go.
he respected the fact and he didn't care that I used the lawnmower to cut other people's yard and make money. He said, hey, you know how to do it. I taught you how to do it. You know how to cut and all this other landscaping stuff. Go do it. Go make your money.
There you go.
Now I want my work done that you got to do at my house. But you go and do that.
But see, that's something, you know, what we're talking about right now is where a lot of black women don't realize the value. See, I think black women sometimes, 80% of them, they want to control the kids so much because they want to get the puppy years. They want to get the cute time. But you're not necessarily giving this kid any real information to survive and go beyond this and beyond that. And that's the most hurtful thing, is that women many times don't have their mindset to realize, wait a minute, what am I really doing for this kid, especially this boy?
Yeah, they get when a kid, this is something I know that's very consistent. When that kid gets about 11, 12 years old and he start changing into puberty, a lot of women get lost. They don't have a clue. And what this is what drives a lot of young, and this is something I try to teach black women a lot that have young sons or kids that are around that age. They'll start using hyper masculinity because they're a woman. They instead of them connecting their son to a male that can, you know, somewhat mentor or family member, so to speak, they'll begin to women look at masculinity as actually, they think hyper masculinity is masculine, because for them to be masculine, they have to overdo it to compensate for the fact that they're not naturally masculine. And so they'll begin to enact these hyper masculine mannerisms towards a lot of young boys.
Right.
And they don't respect it because they still see I'm 12 years old, 5'8", 150 pounds, and you 5'2", 130 pounds, and you barking like a chihuahua at me and thinking I'm supposed to, you know, respect. They're just not. There's going to be limitations. And
well, not only that, but that hyper is still
toxic,
entwined with femininity.
Yes, it is. Exactly.
What's up happening is the boy ends up getting both.
Yes.
Now he goes out to the hood where we at, in my case, and you run your mouth too fucking much.
Yeah.
You talk out of turn. You start snitching because you seen her do that type of stuff.
Yeah.
That gets you hurt out here.
Yeah, because what he's not understanding is that it's certain things that if a female do it gives a certain consequence or a certain reaction. But if a male do it, the response from another male is going to be totally different.
Totally different.
And that's the thing that a lot of young black men don't understand in attempting to navigate what is true masculinity. Because masculinity is not always about what you exert, but it's also the around you are going to keep you in bounds if you get out of pocket, you know.
Hey,
and that's go ahead.
That's what I tried to say on that show today.
Yeah,
you women confuse boys with men.
Yeah,
you women give away the title of man way too quickly. A lot of these dudes can't survive doing what we do. A lot of these dudes can't survive living how we live, and that's not because we hate. It's just that ain't he ain't made it to that point yet. But you're giving him that title, and it's even confusing to him.
Yeah,
I never forget, and this is unfortunate. I'm not bragging when I say this. I never forget. Somebody took somebody. I had four people in the hood catch me up, and they was talking to me about something even they couldn't understand, but they was going off feminine ass emotion. And the dude that was leading, I was only 16, and the dude that was leading them was a 32, 35-year-old dude who's running that part of the hood, right? Mm-hmm. And the dude I was doing dirt with got caught up, but he got caught up by his own design. You rolling around in a hot red SS Super Sport, freaking Chevy, okay, with chrome wheels, all because you mad that I got a Ford Falcon Super Sport, but mine is black with a purple pearl. Okay, you thought I was working for you, then you realize, wait a minute, he's gaining way more than I got, right? Because we didn't go in it like that where I'm working for you. I'm helping you get something off, and we end up becoming business partners like that. You get off half, I get off half. But he got hemmed up. The hood is wondering, well, did Latrey set him up? Nah, Latrey didn't set him up. You know what I'm saying? This dude drawing too much attention to himself, and he got caught on the block. And because he had this special clause that I didn't even know he had, okay, they took him back to his house and searched his house. They drove him all the way back to his house. Well, shoot, I didn't even know he had that clause. Because if I had known, me being closest to him, I'd have sat him down, dude. You can't be keeping AK. Dude had AKs at the house
in his own house.
Had a penitentiary issued Ruger.
Wow,
that's what really caught him up. Okay, they didn't find the drugs. He had 16 G's there, and his mama smoked it all up because she was a dope thing.
Damn.
So even when he got out to nothing again. Okay. The only person keeping now, the reason I bring it up, so I'm explaining to these four dudes, nah, dude, you guys are assuming. Well, how are you shining? And bruh, I got 2 other dope spots. I run the weed.
I'm not gonna assume it's backbiting and shit.
Right. like women.
Yeah.
This dude took a 2x4 and hit me with it across my shoulder, and it snapped. And they all got scared. And because I worked out a lot back then. And they all and then I was on the wrestling team. And I said, okay, I'm gonna see you, dude. And then I left. I jogged away. And they watched me jog away. They ain't chased me or nothing like that. But for a whole year, I was on the rooftop trying to kill that one dude. Oh no, very, very, very seriously. I was trying to put a bullet in him. But the way I got at people back at that time, I'm not proud of it. I get on the rooftop. I get up from the rooftop, catch you slipping, let the hammer hit you, and we all good. But because this Russian dude taught me how to sniper years prior. But nobody knew that. I even had a little Russian 22 sniper rifle. But even with all that said, my reason for bringing it up is that the ramifications when people do stuff. My friend, in his being boisterous and telling everybody the business, and he created the tumbling blocks for all those things to happen.
Yeah.
Because he drew attention to himself, therefore he drew attention to me. Therefore, these assuming feminine dudes did what they did. Therefore, in my 16-year-olds, I was looking to murder that dude.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Meanwhile, get this. Nobody can go visit my homeboy because they all got felonies. Me, I didn't have one. I used to go down and put money on my homeboy's books. The only one that could. The only one that could even visit him. First time this dude got out, he bonded with the cats who ain't do shit for him. Said to this dude, you got out. I gave this dude like I think I spent maybe like, and this is the 80s going into the 90s. I must have spent about $1,400 on buying this dude clothes just to see him shine. You feel me? Because I know he coming out to nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just to see him. Fixed his truck. I know I spent $1,600. So all in all, I might have spent three G's on his coming out party. Just coming out, help him feel like a man. You know, he started feeling some type of way. Right, but he started feeling some type of way because the hood was like, how Q gonna how that? Next thing you know, dude starts shining on me. I'm like, dude, wait a minute, dude. And the moral of the story is this. Hey, man, I'm going to pay you back. Dude, you don't need to pay me back. You tripping, dude. So he did it so much, I said, fuck it. Pay me back, man, because you tripping right about now, dude. I don't know where this is going on from. He started hiding from me. Mind you, I didn't even want the money in the first place. Flash forward 20 years. Now that dude is living in a trailer park with some pasty fat white chick asking, can he be my Facebook friend?
Oh, man, come on.
Mom is dead. His own family, his uncle don't even want to mess with him. Father died in jail, never really knew his dad. Everybody else he knew either in the dope game, either dead, in jail, or just not even dealing with him. But he trying to connect with me. And he tried to do that for like 3 years. Even had his white chick trying to connect. Talk about, well, he don't have no friends. What are your thoughts, Deezer?
Wow. That's a storytelling. That's a hood story. You just told. That was a movie in itself.
People don't know, man. I really live. No, people don't know because they see me operate in these square spaces in medical. They don't know I'm really from the hood. but they hear my voice and they be like, "Oh."
See, but what I'm gonna say is the whole scenario behind that, man, is when you get caught up in that game, you don't move forward. I know guys just that ended up just like I know so many guys back in the 80s was shining. Fast forward 25 years later, they living bad, horrible, and you would never thought. Yeah. And the game is not meant to be in it for 20, 30 years. Get what you can get and get out. And you get caught up in that, then you get caught up in all this culture of in the hood and so forth, and it eats you up. It consumes you.
I saw two of my former enemies digging out a garbage can since I moved back to Cali.
Wow.
Yep, one dude didn't even know who I was. I pulled up with my Mustang to get some gas. This dude just popped out, and I recognized his face because he was older than me. When I was 8th grade, he used to try to bully me. He used to be like, dude, we gonna have to fight or something, dude, because you be rushing up on me. And I remember telling him that 8th grade, and here I am seeing him now digging out the trash can, man. Asking for quarters.
Yeah. There's so many stories like that, man. And is the fact of the matter is, for a lot of these guys, they don't take that money and propel it into something tangible for themselves, man. And a lot of these guys that stay in that type, they have no tangible skills outside of doing that, any other thing for themselves. No trade, no education. All they know is.
You know what? I don't even think trade helps the black man, to be honest, because the way things are structured now, a trade is just a temp job. It's just a contract. Because if you go become a plumber, you have to be a Craigslist plumber. You have to go and try to build and work for D. Durrell and work for Mr. Research. you're not going straight into a union that pulls you into every contract they got going on for a big skyscraper they're building. That's not happening. And a lot of those people who have that stuff are culturally locking down their jobs for their people. What are your thoughts?
Well, see, but then that also points to the fact of the blowing that for himself. We gonna have to lock it down for us. We're gonna have to find a piece of that pie to lock, but we're not doing that though.
I made a
specifically about black. Oh, go ahead.
I did a speaking engagement in 2012 in Atlanta where I made that very same point, because they were all mad that the city of Atlanta was allowing white construction firms to take these contracts. And I went out there on my own dime with a microphone in a little small box while they was out protesting. I said, if 100 of you independent dudes would get together and form a conglomerate, sit down and say, when these big contracts come up, we're going to form like Voltron, then you can all compete as one force with over 100 skilled workers. But what you're not going to do is be 100 individual companies trying to compete against a white family-owned company that got 100 workers on deck.
Yep.
Nobody wanted to hear. Nobody wanted to hear.
Yeah, because everybody looking out for their own. They looking out for their own self-interest.
That's why I said, if I become famous, I'm going to have to get a group to protect me from myself, because I'm going into music just to be a speaker. I'm not going into music really to make money. I already got some good money. I'm going in there to really be a speaker to our people, because I'm looking at the people in music don't speak well.
Yeah, most don't.
And even though I'm older, I need to get in there and at least be on some of these platforms to speak, if for nothing else, because these dudes don't speak well. And they don't speak from a standpoint of understanding what they're speaking about.
True.
You know, so
you know what? The horrible thing about that is that nobody business. And I can even say this because I was looking at the documentary for Michael Jackson. When a lot of these guys come up in the music business, tell them no. R. Kelly, nobody want to tell you no. I mean, you just don't have people that are.
You can't even read R. Kelly.
But they don't tell them no.
Oh,
nobody had the concept. They were so stuck on losing a check instead of understanding that you stopping him from doing is going to keep the check from going. But they were so scared of, if they told him something, they were going to lose their situation, you know. Because notice, everybody that has ratted on him and so forth, or stuff that he did in the height of him doing those things, and they were getting those paychecks, and R. Kelly had a wrote for everybody and had all those from royalties and all that stuff. Nobody said a damn thing. Nobody said nothing in his height. Once the money left, now.
Wow.
How can you look at yourself in the mirror and allow a 13-year-old that you most likely end up having sex with, you turn a blind eye to something like that?
And then your wife was super.
But his wife knew too.
But what I'm saying, your wife was super obedient. Your wife, at least from the neck down, was just as sexy, if not sexier, than any chick you brought in your circle.
Oh,
and
man, I see the chicks that he was messing with. They wasn't really 9s and 10s, to be honest with you. But his wife probably had the best his wife. You just seen the pictures of her in her prime
I'm a fan,
dancing.
sir. I'm a fan of that chick. I'm a fan of
Yeah,
that
she
chick
was
before
bad.
she met him. I'm a fan of that chick while she was with him, and I'm like,
She bad now. She is shape.
oh yeah, she bad now. You know what the problem is that we as dudes, and this is just my personal belief, D. Darrell. We as dudes got to go for the wives who are, and that's one of the reasons why I'm still solo. I got to go for the wives who are a great benefit to me. I'm not.
Yeah.
I can't in 2020. I can't go for the wives who are a project. I can't go for the girl.
That'll wear you down.
Yeah. I can't go for the girls who are still trying to be. Go ahead.
This is what men don't understand. See, and this is one thing that women don't understand about men is that when you create that project for me to invest in and complete, it is so mentally draining in the process. It's so financially draining and mentally draining that once the full product comes into existence, I need a break from it and I want something else.
Absolutely. Shout out to Mr. Ross for the $5 donation. Appreciate that, sir. Really appreciate your donation. Go ahead, D. Darrell.
You know, and so you all of that. You've invested in this. You did that. She need this. She need that. Everything is me. I'm doing. And so then you wonder why some of these guys, they'll even mess with somebody that's way less attractive. That person, all of that. All they want is your time.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And you get the little room and we go have our little time, chop it up, whatever, and I'm good for a couple hours.
Right. Right.
But that's very difficult for women to understand. They looking at it, but me. It's but I.
Yeah.
Look at the work. Look at the effort and everything else that you have to put in to when I'm being with you.
Well, it's the same thing.
Piece. Oh, go ahead.
Well, it's the same thing I said on her show today. I'm not here to just be your open wallet. I can do that with an escort. I'm not here to just help you feel good about traveling on and me paying half. I don't. You got to be able to. I saw this beautiful woman, right? Nice breasts, slim, dark skin the way I like it, all that good stuff. Here's the problem. She was renting a chair. And if you've been in your industry for over 3-4 years, I can't see you renting a chair. It's not a benefit for me. You need to own something. You at this point, you just got to, or manage the shop at least. Is that wrong of me?
No, it's not wrong of you, but unfortunately, the standards that in our community they expect, because I'm with you and I'm leasing my body to you, you deserve the
right
and by everything that you said. You're supposed to make sure I have that because I've leveraged my body to you, therefore I'm to that.
You know what? Let me do this real quick thing.
Go ahead.
Quibi. I want everybody. I'm always trying to put y'all on the next level of the game. Quibi is the new thing to download. You get it free for the next 90 days. You get to watch episodes created by actors and directors in the movie industry who can't get their stuff done. And there's a lot of people on there. Chance the Rapper made a new version of that show where he catches people off guard. LeBron did a documentary on there. Spielberg is on there. Quite a few notable people on there. And what they do is take some never seen before episodes of little short stories. And it's 12 minutes per episode. And it's really an entertaining thing, and it's free for the next 90 days. You can't beat that benefit. You can stream it to your TV, and you can get something different to look at other than your Netflix. And I think ultimately it will compete with Netflix, which is for people who out there on the stock investment tip. This might be something you want to be looking at. Because Netflix needs competition right now because they're a little bit arrogant. So I just wanted to say that. Also, I was going to say something else, but I forgot. Go ahead, D-Durrell.
I'm just, in regards to that, man, I think what we want, there's so much selfishness. People are so selfish in their perspective towards relationships, and relationship is not about what solely on what someone can do for you and you're getting back in return. That to me is the one of the biggest issues I deal with in marriages, where you these unrealistic expectations, or even if they're realistic, regardless of if they're realistic or unrealistic, that you feel that I do for you, but in return, well, I just sit and I'm pretty and I don't do anything else. You should just be happy and that I'm the prize and I just have you, and I'm allowing myself to be with you.
Yeah, I've heard that several times. What's up with that, doctor?
And the problem, and see, this is the problem. The problem is that, and this is I mean, this is very difficult to process in therapy emails. You have to understand that the way you think of yourself is not indicative if they love you or not, is not indicative of how somebody else think of you. There's nothing wrong with you thinking you're a 10, but the problem is don't expect somebody else to think you 10 because you think you're a 10.
Absolutely.
And if you are not providing things for that person, that is what you're alluding to, investing in that person or building with that person, or let's just say they're helping you build wealth. You're an asset to you to help you build wealth, such as take care of the clerical, the paperwork, the consulting, some other little ancillary things that you don't have time to do, but she's taking care of those things. And you have to be somewhere.
You heard me say it today on the show. You see how they freaked out? You heard me say it today on her show, and you see how people freaked out when I said learn to speak Spanish to handle a different part of our business.
Yeah, but see,
and they
see the thing out about it. But see, this is the key. See, and you've talked about this, and I've heard other people talk about it, but specifically, I know you talked about this. I remember when you talked about how when a white woman approaches marriage, she's looking at the back end. She'll help you invest in that. She'll even get her father to loan you the money to start the business. But at the back, and she getting hers on the back end when their success come in. But now it could, whether it's for selfish reasons or not, the fact of the matter is this person has invested in you. She's putting in the time, the sweat equity, whatever intellectual property, whatever that's involved in that. That's a benefit. A person sitting there, there's millions, there's tons of beautiful women with no skills.
Oh wow. Yeah.
You're not special because beauty is not specialty. You're not special because you're beautiful. You're a pretty woman. You're sexy. Whatever. That is not a benefit. Yes,
and
yes.
Look, God and God said beauty does fade.
Yes, and it fades. But the bottom line is that the beauty is number one, is in the eye of the beholder, is subjective. But at the end of the day, how are you being? How when I come home, you're making my life easier. It's easier for me to manage, operate my business, or prolong myself in whatever career. Notice, I remember this a lot in like say those soap operas such as like those more upscale type TV shows that used to come on. Remember, a lot of those guys that were rich and wealthy, those women, but when they hosted, you know what their wives did? They projected an image to the community with charity and stuff like that. They did I would say they hosted the dinners and any type of gather. They were over those things for the benefit of their husband, so that networking and other things and business loan and those type of, that's where the real business is not in the office. The real business is done outside the office in the networking and gatherings. But they and provided the means or the environment for all these people to get together, have a drink, have lunch. But a woman of value provides that so that you can get into certain avenues or certain people for whatever benefits are needed for you and your profession. But women in our community don't think of that. Marriage is more than just the relationship between two people to build a family and have a house and so on. There's other things that person should be involved in your life to make things easier for you. If you want to build and seek and do great things, it's not just in the confines of.
It's not just in the confines of
the relationship and the household.
But see, here's the problem. When you and I specifically, talk like this, they're intimidated because they're not used to men speaking this way. This is also what I was saying. Women date so many boys and older boys and old men with boy minds. They're not used to hearing men articulate their thoughts in a non-combative way, but more as you and I do, as an absolute.
Yes.
And now she
understand.
Can't.
Oh, I'm listening.
That's why you don't understand. That's why you don't understand what?
No, I didn't hear you. It went out when you were talking. I'm sorry.
I said that's why you don't understand what?
I lost my track of mind. I'm sorry. I was listening to what you were saying because you were talking, and I lost my train of thought.
Well, let me just say real quick is that the
Yes.
unfortunate thing is we do not this is the revolution that we need to do. And hopefully I'm successful in music, but this is what we need to do. We need to bring a team of people forward to really reshape the mind of the Black son. Because the unfortunate thing is he does not see people like you and I, and even the Man of Tomorrow, who kill dragons on a regular basis. And even though we're not perfect, we got flaws. I got flaws. We're not super successful. We all right. But we are in a position, and we can have even much more if we were to get dudes out of this I just want to be a service worker mentality. It hurts my heart mentally, not really my heart, but it just hurts my mental heart when I walk outside of the office where I'm at, working with the Asians and Filipinos, and me being the only brother, and I got three fellows that are Black males. The one sister is gone, and then you got 2 insurance workers that are Black females in the office, and 1 African lady in the office. Everybody else is Asian. When I walk outside, I see all these Black males that I walk past: janitors, security guards. Why? Why? You've been working at this hospital for over a year. Y'all ain't learned nothing. Y'all ain't trying to advance. Don't nobody want to go be part of the PBX switchboard. Don't nobody want to be part of the information desk. Y'all just want to service work. Explain that to me, D. Darrell.
Wow. Well, again, man, when you have low self-esteem, low self-worth, and you don't have to better yourself, that is going to be the end result. You just happy. I'm a Black man. You have this expectation that I can't do no better. This is the expectation of what we're supposed to do in society. Basically, as good as it gets. This is what I'm meant to do, and I should just shut up and just be happy. I'm where I'm at. It's sad, but that's a reality.
That's crazy, because half the time when people ask me, Q, how did you do this? And Q, man, let me tell you, Mr. Latreille saw early in the game, pulling my dick out and saying, hey, this is what I can make happen for you, was well loved by people. I didn't think that was possible. But guess what? It happened. Now, the bad part of that is people who were less got intimidated fast. Yeah. Because when I left the hood and went 2 states over, I didn't know nobody. I didn't have no family in Seattle. I just went with a bag of money, and I touched down and got an apartment for 6 months. Paid in advance. Well, man, Q, I could never do that. Yes, you can when you're a mental warrior.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. What's the point of being in the industry if D. Darrell and his wife saw the opportunity to take over Michigan tomorrow? Guess what? They're going to at least have a strategic discussion about it. Even if they can't do it, they're going to have a strategic discussion about it. But we at least right. They might be able to prop one of their children up over there, or cousin, or I mean, the possibilities are endless. But it's crazy how we as Black men could have so much more. And I say this all the time on this channel: if Black men would only become managers.
Yeah.
If you had less Black men trying to do this stupid stuff, go be an assistant manager and learn the math that managers need to know. That's all you got to do to change your life. Just go be a manager. And once you do, and I'm not talking retail and food. Not talking that. I'm talking a real manager moving people and product. Go ahead, sir.
These guys like that. The other frustration of it is that these guys that you see sitting there working these jobs at that level, when you talk up to them about their dreams and aspirations, they always come up with these grandiose ideas of things that are unrealistic or don't even have the work ethic to even move towards some of these. One of the worst things I hate is when I was working in a mental health and I was dealing with some substance abusers in the they had substance abuse issues and so forth. They were, some of them had issues, they recovered. And then you're like 30 years old talking about I want to still be in the music industry. Stuff like this grandiose stuff of, and there's nothing wrong with having those aspirations. 30 years old is not that old, but I'm like, you at some point somewhat some level of pragmatism with what is more like I can do that's more tangible for the moment to build upon. You want to be this. Why is it that ourselves? A lot of these guys can find themselves of wanting to, when they think of success, and when they think of success and financial, they're thinking of entertainment, they're thinking of music. They're not thinking of, like, those are the only opportunities that are to reach success.
Right.
And there's too many kids that put themselves in a prison. And that's what success is supposed to look like. And they don't look at like a classy black man that ain't loud, that ain't drinking loud, ain't drawing no attention to himself. He wears a suit and tie, house paid for, nice car, nice vehicles, no debt. Success.
Yeah.
It ain't attracting everybody, but you living better than everybody. Your bank account fatter than everybody, but it ain't everybody and bucking their eyes. You don't have to do that. But when they think success means, it has to relate to things where you're showing people that you're successful. You have to look, quote unquote, what they think looks like success.
Well, see, this is why I say, like, I had a musical interview. Somebody interviewed me, and they said, me being older, why get into music? I said, I'm not getting into music doing what everybody else is doing. What I do is Outkast meets Jeezy.
Okay.
What I do, I actually sing more than anything else that I do. I'm a fan of Prince. I like harmonics. I like choirs in the music. I'm not putting out a project like that yet, but that's the ultimate goal. Now, as far as music doesn't have a name, but like I tell people I told people in this interview, when you coming in to do music for the sake of music, I already have money. I already have street cred. I don't need to come into music to get it. So I'm doing the same thing an older rock and roll dude does, the same thing an old country music does, and EDM. They got dudes EDM that's 70 years old doing that shit.
Oh yeah. So let me be honest with you. Hip hop or rap is the only one where they look sideways about your age. Other, man, you could be rock and rolling it.
Yeah, it's the only one. It's because Sony Music started that trend. We used to have a lot of older people back in the day when I was in music. Sony Music started that trend, and they got artists to tease and belittle anybody coming in. But that's where Tupac changed the game when he got in, because he started insulting weak artists who were easily manipulated. And that's why during Tupac's reign, a lot of people couldn't even make records, because he was dissing people publicly for who they really was.
Wow.
And when you look at people like Mobb Deep, when you look at people who popped off like this, or even look at NWA and Ice Cube and them, not everybody was able to sustain by themselves.
Nope.
Ren could never make a situation for himself.
Yeah, or Yellow Boy.
Yeah, DJ Yella, he couldn't do it. Arabian Prince actually had a better career than those two people we named, because he was on productions. You know, he produced so many people. So on and so forth. And it's like, people don't understand. But guess what? That's why, for me, music is the quickest way to get to those conversations. It's the quickest way to get up and say, hey, thank you for having me. Absolutely. Check this out here. I everywhere I go, I represent Black Sons, and anything you ask me, it's going to be not necessarily my personal view, but it's going to be the view to help Black Sons. And that throws a lot of people off. You know what I'm saying? To be like, I'm working on a song right now that's all about Black boy, brown boys, light-skinned boys uniting. I don't know if it's going to hit. I don't care if it's going to hit. I'm not making it to hit. I'm making it because I got the ability to make it. And one thing I try to tell people when I'm in a studio with music, you don't know what's going to hit. I literally heard, and people don't remember this song. I heard a producer fart on a record, and it became a hit for Ice Cube.
What?
He used the fart as a snare.
Oh, really? He sampled it.
Yep. I forgot the title of the song, but it starts off 4, 5 brothers in the mothership. And it got a horn.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And it go bam, 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 bam.
Oh yeah, I remember that song.
Let me give you one more. How about when Aaron Hall called women dumb bees and they still bought the record?
Oh yeah,
the guy
sure did. That was before people was even dead.
Right. It's like so.
All you numbers, I miss you. I miss
yeah. You never can tell what's going to hit. One of my favorite singers who didn't live long enough was Dino, from your neck of the woods. I call him Dino so much. Yeah, I forgot what group he was with. 3-man group.
H-Town.
Yeah, H-Town. Because all I care about is Dino. Dino had the best. You've been working all day. I've said, kill him, Dino. Kill him, brother. That is one of the best voices I've heard next to Luther. Me personally. That's one of the best original.
Luther had a voice for the ages, man. That's a timeless voice.
Did you know Luther really couldn't sing?
I actually heard in the beginning he couldn't. It kind of developed over time. That's why he was a backup singer.
Actually, let me tell you real quickly how he got to that point. Luther never took voice classes. He really couldn't sing. Luther started off in commercials.
Oh,
harmonizing.
Okay.
And when I and as a fan of Prince, I understand, because even when I took my voice classes recently, they were saying, you know what, you got a good tone, you got a good ear, you catch the tones real quick, and that's the art of a singer. So what Luther did was, a chair is just a chair. He would pause notes to where a sentence sometimes took 30 seconds to 40 seconds to actually give you. But 30 seconds, 40 seconds in a song is it's monstrous, because most songs are only 3 or 4 minutes.
So that's the reason why a lot of his songs were so long.
Right. Him and Barry White.
Yeah, those songs were long. Those Luther had 5-minute songs and more.
Because your hook is going to take 40 minutes to 50 minutes max, mostly 40 seconds. Okay, your hook. Okay, your chant. You're going to do that 2 to 3 times. Jeezy, I really appreciate how Jeezy does his, because he uses his hook 3 to 4 times in a song. That's a minute. So Jeezy's actual lyrics are only 8 to 16 bars. People don't notice it though. Yeah, I mean, he don't really do a lot of lyrics in his songs. As far as, you know, like he might say blah 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 blah. That's 1 line. Blah 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 blah. That's 2. Blah 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 blah. That's 3. Blah 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 4. Now he's back to the hook, the chant, for another minute and something. You at the 2-minute mark already.
Yeah, I'm into music too. I do my little music stuff too. It's more of a hobby though, but yeah.
What do you do? What do you do?
I sing and play piano. I've been playing classical music since I was 9.
Okay, well, we're gonna do some work, brother. Connect with me. No, serious. I'm gonna send you the link to my other YouTube where I do my music stuff. Because I just bought a Kai.
I got one. Yeah. Okay.
I just got an Akai 535 or something like that.
Your controller.
Yeah. I just got the newest one. So I just set up the little studio, but we'll actually do some work. I'm sending you that over now, because you on my phone, my actual phone. Like I said, D, I don't give everybody my phone.
Yeah, I know.
But you are actually on the phone. But yeah, man. But that's the reason why I want to do those things, brother, is that we're not in a situation that we should be. And I realize that even if I get in there just to hold a conversation, oh, you know what, D. Darrell, send me that, because you're on my old phone that I lost. So send me that. Text me something or email me something, and I'll shoot that to you. Yeah, because I lost that old phone, and that's the one you're on. But yeah, my point is, D. Darrell, just to have somebody in music who can go in there and talk some really high level success stories and how to dominate on a high level, I think that's what we need. And I think that, you know, even if I do that and only get 10 grand per show, I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Just to have the ability to talk and being able to create a possible funnel. Like I would have no problem saying, hey, let's create a union for all the therapists. Mm-hmm. Oh, Mr. Latreille, you gonna do that? No doubt. Send it all through me. I'm gonna use this five grand. I'm gonna create the structure. Everybody gonna pay into it, and this is what we're gonna do. Man, manhood music is taking over, man. They doing. I'm not doing it for the money, not doing it for the chicks. I already had that before I came to music. Wow. So that's my stick. I've done this before I even came over here. You know what I'm saying? So if it takes off, good. If not, so be it. But I just got to put myself in position to hold these conversations. That's where I think I need to do. What are your thoughts, sir? Teach me.
The sky's the limit. Make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to something.
Going in final thoughts. We're going in final thoughts. So give us the final joints.
Okay. Final thoughts, man. Just kind of looking at things. First, I want to commend you on Lynn's show today. I think it was a great thing for her to put other, different people in her space. It also shows being, kind of spreading your wings and getting into other spaces outside of what you typically would be in on Black YouTube. Pretty much a lot about is for the progression of Black men. There's a lot of nonsense that's on Black YouTube right now. We want to be able to attract people, like-minded people, or even people that want to do things a different way or learn ways of new and different ways of, like myself and Mr. Research. I mean, we are basically examples of doing things in ways in which they don't. Taking care of business, being accountable for your actions, thinking success, thinking long-term, having your all of those different things that make a great asset to your community. And so on my channel, I try project to Black men and Black women because I'm that's why I show things that go on in my business like that, because I'm doing that as a way of trying to uplift and show other people that they can do the same also. It's not for show. It's just not to just say, hey, look at me. It's to maybe, hey, I want to go in the mental health field. I want to learn about medical. I want to learn about this and that technology, to inspire to do great things, and just don't find and just to prevent a lot of our talented people that's just not utilizing their talents to the full, want to do more with their life. So that's basically where I'm coming from.
Absolutely. And somebody wanted to know, thank you for people who did donate. I'm glad you guys appreciate the information that we take time out to provide. We got to get sleep and go to work and handle business, but I'm glad y'all have an appreciation, financial appreciation for donating and not just always getting things for the free. Some people are scared to say that, but I am not. The streaming service that I talked about that you can benefit from, QUIBI. QUIBI. And that service is free for the next 90 days. Thank you so much, Mr. D. Darrell. We will stay in contact. I did get the link for that music. I'm going to check that out. And yeah, man, the way I work in this music thing, I do it the way Drake does it. I think it works better that way. I have everybody work on a piece of music. So I have one guy that does my hip hop drums when I need for those to happen. I do them myself, but I have somebody that I like how it mixes. I have one guy that arranges. I haven't put none of that on my YouTube. I haven't put none of that on my YouTube that I sent you, but I do have I do have that. I'm gonna have to upload a lot of that music. I'm putting it on my SoundCloud first, and then it'll transfer over to YouTube. But what I do with the people who play like yourself, I give them pieces of stuff, whether it be a drum track, might be horns, and I have them play around it, and then I'll take that, I'll treat it as a sample, and pay people for that, pay people for their time, right? Treat it as a sample, and then have the arranger arrange it all with what I'm doing, and that cool. way, yeah, that way nobody makes a beat nobody, because then it's more so of what they got going on. And what I try to do is I like how music changes up. You know, I'm a big Prince fan, and how something will be going one way, and then on the 16th bar, everything changes for a minute. Then it goes back to what it was doing. Like I'm really a fan of "Baby I'm a Star." "Baby I'm a Star" was done extreme. And you know that part where he says because he puts a riser in there that's actually a voice track where he changes up. "When you think you got it, baby, nothing comes too easy, nothing comes too hard." That's a switch up from the whole rest of the song. And then he goes into a riser, "Baby, baby," and then he screams, and then he goes back to the chant. That's what we need in hip hop. We need hip hop to have that variation. We need hip hop to do that type of stuff. Plus, when you go to my YouTube thing that I sent you, you will hear me practicing some rock and roll voices. I lived in Seattle for quite a while, so that's another reason why I want to go back into hip hop. I've seen the success of Little Peep, and I have no problem singing rock and roll stuff like Pearl Jam. I got to see those guys come up before they got their deal. Them and Soundgarden. So I was
really?
overly saturated. Yeah, I was overly saturated with them before they got their deal, because wasn't nothing going on in Seattle but rock and grunge. I mean, nothing. They had no concerts. People would not come to Seattle for nothing. They had Mix-a-Lot, and that was it. You know, I remember one day everybody was going. I remember one day everybody was going crazy because Billy Ocean did a concert in Seattle. You know what I'm saying? That's how bad it was, man. But just to give you an idea, if you ever practice around stuff that I do rock too. My voice goes different ways. I can do the Nate Dogg, hold up, way. I can do all that type of stuff. And when it comes to rock, it's the same thing where you can sing, "I don't mind," and we do all that. So that's why I want to get in and just make music. And I spent 3 years getting up to this point on how I wanted to deliver it, how I wanted to put it out. And for the last 6 months, I've been working out how I'm doing mixtape stuff, like how I'm going to get that out to where I know it's free, but I need to be able to profit some way, somehow, because, you know, we got a businessman mindset.
Definitely. So I feel you on that, man. I'm looking forward to hearing your music and stuff. You know, on mine, I do. I'm more R&B, and I do hip hop. I do beats and stuff like that. You know, I've been there for some time. I've turned down some opportunities, man, because there were people wanting me to go on the road to do stuff. I'm pretty sure of what is it called? It's in Austin. SXXV or something like that. Double, and they do like this outdoor thing or something in Austin where the event. They wanted me to go out there. I turned, and then man, I turned down another opportunity where it was a benefit type thing that they were doing, and they heard my two, and they wanted me to do two songs, and this was back in but they wanted me to a lot of traveling, and I'm like,
traveling.
Huh?
Yeah, the traveling is time consuming, and there's no guarantee of nothing.
Yeah, I told them, you know, if I'm not getting paid the amount to be work, I mean, I'm coming out, you know, I'm being independent and doing local stuff within the state, but I'm not really. Yeah,
that's all it is. Like somebody asked me about touring. I said, well, I have a event company. If somebody gave me an offer, I'm going to go 50-50 partners, or at least 1/3 partner on the event.
Yeah.
I'm not just a cat who's going to take the 10, 20 G's or 5 G's and do the show. It has to be a different type of benefit for me. I need to be able to capture emails. I think business. You know what I'm saying? And it's a totally thing.
Yeah, I'm all for, like I'm good with just releasing stuff on YouTube or SoundCloud. I actually have another platform. I go on TuneCore. I some stuff on TuneCore before. It's a
Right.
third party site where you buy stuff, and it was all over every major distributor, Apple, and stuff. But as far as unless I have a definite amount of money, that I'm going to make something, or I'm not trying to go traveling from city to doing 10, 15. No, I'm not trying to do that. I mean, I don't need the money. I don't need the money.
Yeah, and that's what it really comes down to. Let me also say this: if we are able to work together, what I really need is somebody who's able to really put in. Because, like, if I do a song, I want to get a version where, in the middle of everything I do, it switches up to a little bit of that Jodeci funk sound, where the moogs are stacked moogs on top of maybe drums, to where the whole essence of it kind of changes before it goes back to what it was. And I think what's really missing, and I like how Drake does it. He brings in that moog Jodeci sound. People don't even notice it
at
really.
The end.
And
at the end, yeah,
it's either at the end or in the middle, and it goes back to what it was. It's that I think they use an oscillator stacked with a real.
It changes the tone.
Right. With the real deep moog, and they stack a drum underneath it. Who was the dude doing that? Jodeci, the one that went crazy.
Raleigh.
No, not him.
Not Teddy Riley. What's the guy?
Yeah, he went crazy.
Devontae Swing.
Devontae Swing. I swear, man, if Devontae Swing hadn't got hooked on drugs, man, he would have probably revolutionized the way music is done, man. I mean, because when you look at everybody came up under him. Timbaland came up under him.
Devontae went to Virginia and got all the talent out of there.
Man, look, off the chain. All right, let me get up out of here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Missy Elliott.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, brother. I'm gonna holler back at you, man. I gotta go. Ebony DeJour, I apologize. We got to do an interview. I apologize. I've been real busy with work and I was sick today. But Ebony DeJour, we will be doing that interview. I did get your email. I also bought your book, your portfolio with the Colombian dark-skinned women. I'm gonna do a video on that. Thank you, D Real, man. We will connect, brother, and I'm gonna watch your video before I go to sleep.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, peace.
All right.